What's up, everybody? I'm back. It's been a hell of a long time since I've sat before the microphone. I've got to adjust myself here. I'm not even prepared, even though I'm prepared. How's everybody doing out there? It's me. It's your old pal Fritz. I didn't disappear. I didn't die. I didn't get blipped. I didn't get scooped up by the authorities or anything. I'm here. I'm back. But as you can see, things are a little bit different. Like my big nerdy background with Funko Pops and all this stuff crammed in isn't there anymore. It's not there anymore. And the reason it's not there anymore is because about 2 months ago, well, a little more than that, back in February, I had started talking with the realtor that sold me in my house 5 years ago at my old house. This is a story. This is a journey. Buckle up. We're going to take a ride. I started talking with my realtor back in February, and he was the same realtor that sold me into the house that I was living in at that time about 5 years ago. And so he's a guy that I trust. He's a guy that we work well with him. He didn't do us wrong the first time, and we felt like he wasn't going to do us wrong this time. And so we talked with him for a little bit because I don't know if you've been following the housing market at all, but the housing market's pretty fucking crazy right now. It's insane. And it's insane to the tune of houses going for way more than they should. A very volatile market. Some people, like my buddy Clint from Liberty Lockdown, shout out to you, my friend. He used to work the business, and some of them are saying it echoes 2008 setups, and it very well may. It very well may be in that category. But just for an example, or just to give you some perspective, when we called my realtor up, I knew how the market was acting, and I called him up more so like window shopping. Kind of like you're bored, you go on Amazon, you're like, I would buy up all this crap. You put it in a wish list, you end up not buying it though, or you go to a store, you walk through, you look at a bunch of stuff, but you don't end up buying because you can't afford it, or any other plethora of reasons. You're just bored and wasting time and daydreaming about things. Well, when we brought him over, he crunched the numbers, and he showed me the number for what my house would go for on the market. And I almost laughed at the number that he showed me. I was like, no way. You are kidding me. Nobody's going to want to buy this house for that amount of money. Just no way. And he basically said, haha, my friend, it's not how this market works. This market is what it is, and you have a golden opportunity here to get yourself out of your house, and I might be able to get you into something better than what you have. Even in this crazy market, I'll be able to help you not get screwed over. So, at that point, I was like, if that's the number, if somebody wants to buy this house for that price, and I'm doing it as is, if somebody wants to buy for that price, let them have it. Let them have it. And he said, let's pump the brakes, let's slow down, let's figure out what will get you into so that we can make this transition as easy and smooth as possible. Now, there's a caveat to that line about it being smooth as possible. I'll get to it in a minute, though. So the very next day, that night, he said, I have a client that would like to walk through your house. We weren't listed yet. We're not on the market yet. Basically, is what they call a pocket listing. They know they have a potential sale. They have a client that has potential interest. They kind of, give them a grand tour, before things go on the market, and give them the opportunity to throw an offer out there before it becomes a gambling deal. Which in this market, by the way, it's a gambling deal for damn sure. So that night he said, I have a client who wants to walk through. We were like, give us 2-3 days to get cleaned up because that house was cramped. It was a 3-bedroom rancher. 3-bedroom rancher. I've got 5 dogs, 3 cats, a 1.5-year-old. My wife and I collect junk. I collect Funko Pops. I have a ton of Lego sets, and we didn't have space in that house. And so he said, give us a couple days to clean it up. We'll get it cleaned up. Your client, we'll get the dogs out. We'll go out and about or whatever, and your clients can walk through. The only thing they're gonna have to worry about is the cats. And so we had that cleared out. So 2 days later, he has a client walk through, and he calls me up after their walkthrough was done, and he said straight up, "Hey, your house is sold." I said, "What?" I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "For how much?" And he showed me the same price that he quoted it at. He said, "I got you. They're willing to make this offer." Okay, so thus sparked the house hunt. Which in this market, if you're looking to buy a house, I would highly recommend that you have a good team of people that aren't going to screw you and have opportunities that are going to go under the radar. If I had to impart advice, I'm by no means an expert on this. I had a team of trusted individuals. My realtor was a trusted individual. My loan officer was the same loan officer I used to get in the house the first time. Everybody was the same team. I knew everybody. The only people I didn't know were the legal teams that were handling the paperwork. That's literally all they do is handle the paperwork and the signatures and the dotting of the I's and the crossing of the T's. That's all they do. So I didn't know those people. I said, you know what? You guys are playing this game. This is your market. You're making mega bank off of this stuff. You figure that out. And we had it set up to use the same law firm to handle the closing of the sale of our house and the purchase of our new house. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Searching for houses was insane because houses go on the market and within mere hours or maybe even a day, offers flood in. Period. If you're trying to buy a house, you're probably going to get in, depending on locations, price, and what you might want to try to negotiate. It's not a good negotiator's market for buyers right now because it's a seller's market. It's insane. I was touring houses that were, that my realtor was like, yeah, this house has an offer in already. I know you can beat that offer, so we're going to offer at this if you decide to go with this route. And we're doing this walking through 5 different houses. And mind you, this was the first time we've ever walked through houses where people were still actively living in their houses. A lot of times, like I remember house hunting the first go around 5-6 years ago, and I was walking through houses that had been, vacated. These were people who had bought a new property and were trying to sell their previous property. They were not tenants or living in the properties that I was walking through. I walked through a dozen properties of people who were still living in those houses. They just had to step out, from different time frames during the day as people were coming in and checking out their houses. And it's so awkward. I felt awkward having somebody walk through my house with all my stuff, in place. The only peace of mind I had in that is that I have security cameras because of my job, because of, call it my paranoia or whatever. I had security cameras so I could watch the whole time. So that was a little bit of a peace of mind, but a lot of the people's houses I was walking through didn't have security cameras, and their stuff was everywhere. I'm walking through bedrooms. I'm walking through living rooms. There's stuff everywhere. These, people are living here. It's crazy. And even as we were doing that, yeah, he was like, yeah, there's going to be offers. Offers are going to be flying off the tables for these properties. So we got to be able to move fast. And it was good that he had a client ready to buy our property because that meant that when we started putting in offers, it wasn't going to be, on the condition of sale of our property, which definitely don't have leverage in this kind of a market for it. So we actually found one property that we had our heart set on that we found. He didn't even find it. And we walked through and we were top offer price-wise. But we wanted things addressed. And they rejected our offer because that's the breaks in the seller's market. They can say, well, we have a dozen offers, and even though yours is the best flat dollar, we're not going to address this, that, or the third thing. So, no, we'll go with an offer that's, $10K, $5K cheaper because it's still over what it would normally be. And it's insanity. So we lost that first house, and we were pretty in our feels about that because we had really researched that property. We really liked that property. We walked through, and it was almost like we had fallen in love with that property. But it fell through, so we were kind of devastated on that and discouraged. But, my realtor said, don't worry. I'm going to start drumming up options, and we'll go check them out. We gave him our checklist of things. Let me tell you what my checklist of things were, because I lived in a crowded neighborhood that I hated. Everybody. People were driving through my neighborhood constantly as a thoroughfare from one major highway over here to get to the other major highway and back and forth. So cars constantly driving through my neighborhood of people who don't even live there, which just annoys me. It annoys the hell out of me. Maybe I'm an old man at heart. I have no idea. But I hated it. And the houses are on top of each other. The lots were small. At the time I bought that house, I thought, man, this is a big yard. No. And not when you have a twit face of a next-door neighbor. My goodness. That wasn't the only reason for moving, by the way. The people that know the saga of my twit-faced next-door neighbor, that wasn't the sole reason for moving. A big part of the reason of moving was just the market, just the insanity that could be made. I won't go into actual numbers, but 5 years ago, I purchased my house at this price. I sold it 2 weeks ago for damn near 50% more than that price. Just insane. And that was just off of how this market is alone. That's not with any really upgrades or anything in that house. It was a flip when we bought it, and everything was brand new. So, but I digress. I carry on a lot. If you missed the ranting, it's back. So get used to it. So he came up with all these other options. So one day we go out and about it. So I'm working midnight to 8. In case you didn't know that, I work midnights at work. So I usually come home. I sleep between like 8:30 or 9 o'clock to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So this one day I'm busting my butt up early at 1:30 to shoot downstate about an hour because I'm looking at properties that have land. I'm looking at, at least 1 acre plots, places that are zoned agricultural, rural, so that you can do homesteading and farming, no HOAs, nobody's on top of each other. That's what we're looking for. So we drive about an hour downstate to check out. We checked out. It was like a merry-go-round that day. I think it was 5 properties that we had earmarked to check out, and we go through these 5 properties. So as my wife and I are going through the first 4 with our realtor, who I'll say his name, Desi Rivera, if you're in the Delaware, Pennsylvania, not Maryland, I don't think, but if you're in my area of the woods, absolutely love Desi Rivera and the Rivera Diaz team. The greatest people that I've ever worked with in the home buying and selling process. I cannot express my humble gratitude to them enough for this amazing house that I'm in now. But we went through 4 houses, and my wife and I are talking, and we're trying to weigh the options because we know we got to act fast, but we also know that we don't want to act too fast. We want to be sure that what we're stepping into is going to be something that we're comfortable in for the long haul, for the next 15 plus years, because that's what that's what we were looking for. And as we're going through and we're weighing the pros and the cons of these, different properties, we knew we had the 5th property on 1.5 acres. And we pretty much, we felt from the pictures that was the property that we were going to, be moving to go on. We were like, that's the property. That's the one we're going to go with. And then we toured it after touring these other 4 houses. And, we were pretty set after touring it. We were like, you know what? This is the place. This is the place that we should put in for. It's got everything that we want. It's got a big fenced-in portion of a backyard. It's got 1.5 acres, so it's plenty of space to do homesteading, farming, raising, chickens and maybe goats and stuff. Small-scale stuff. So we're like, we tell our realtor, hey, I know we went through the other 4, but this is the one. This is the one that we should put the offer in. And he says, Desi looks at us and says, don't fall in love yet. Can I take you one more place? At this point, this was back in February, so it's like 6 o'clock at night, and it's starting to get dark out. It's starting to get pitch dark out because we're out in, a more rural part of the state. And so at that point, we were like, well, it doesn't hurt. Yeah, take us to this property that you want to show us. So we drive about 10 minutes, 15 minutes from the spot that we're at through all these back roads. We're passing farms. We're on back roads that are 50 miles an hour. There's no traffic lights. There's barely any stop signs. We're rolling. I'm like, he's really taking us out to the sticks. Like, my goodness. And we pull into this neighborhood. If you can call it that. It is a neighborhood, but it's a neighborhood in the sense that everybody has about an acre or so of land in the neighborhood. But it's pitch dark. There's no street lights. There's nothing. He ends up driving past the house, actually. We did a U-ey, and we come into the driveway of the house. And we walk up, and as we're walking up, I'm looking at this place, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is, pretty. And I'm dead convinced, as he's walking us through the door, that this is out of our price range. We're not going to be able to do this. I don't know why we're here looking at this. So, anyway, we walk in. His contractor buddy was in the house doing some work, so we had the opportunity to talk with that guy about the work that had been done on the house and all that. And we walked through, and we were just blown away. We were blown away by this house when we walked through it. Not what we were expecting at all. Didn't have, when it came to wish lists and stuff, it actually had stuff that we were like, nah, we prefer not to have that, like a second floor and stuff. But we walked through the second floor of this house and walked through it, and we were like, damn, this place is great. This is great for the fact that we got the dogs and all that. He took us outside. It was, like I said, it was pitch dark, but we had flashlights, and he showed us the property lines. It was nice, big, wide open property. With a fenced-in area already that could be for the dogs, a place that's on well water and septic and all that, really, really out in the sticks, really out in the sticks. But we were blown away. And so we come inside and we start discussing. I said, "Did you just show me this for funsies or whatever? Because this is obviously out of our price range." And he goes, "Oh no," he goes, "I'll make this work." I said, "For real?" He goes, "It's not on the market yet. They're thinking about doing an open house, but I know the seller. He's a good friend of mine. Let me talk to him. I'll make this work if this is what you want." And so we said, "Okay, yes, do it." And thus, you think it's over. You think it's over right there. It's not over. It's not over in the slightest. It's not over because this is like 2 months ago. So he does his magic. We get our offer in, and our offer is accepted. Things are worked out with the buyers of our place, but some work needs to be done. But it's being covered, And then we go through all the other cavalcade stuff you have to go through: home inspections, termite inspections, all the other inspections that you can think of for here. And involved a septic inspection, a water test for the well, and all that jazz. And this is why I went on hiatus, because at this point I'm boxing up my house. My office became a collection of boxes. It was boxes everywhere, wall to wall, floor to ceiling, everything. And I'm packing up stuff, and I'm still going to work. I'm not able to get time off. I'm trying to be involved with the loan process of things getting approved and signing things left and right, and aggravation after aggravation as well. Just part of the home buying and selling process. We had snags, things that can make you pull your hair out. If you're new here, and you think I pulled my hair out, I didn't. This has been me for the past, 7 years or better. I shaved my head, but mind-numbing. And there was times where I was just convinced that, I was like, this isn't gonna happen. I don't know why we got our hopes up. The market's crazy. We're not gonna be able to afford it. None of that crap. That's because I'm a pessimist. But everything worked out in the end. Including having to really crunch the last at the very end of April there to get all the house packed up, moved over here with very, very limited help. 4 dogs, 3 cats, a 1.5-year-old, and myself and my wife, who drove each other freaking nuts. And she wanted to kill me at times. I'm pretty sure I wanted to kill her at times. It happens. It happens. Despite the stress, the frustrations, and all that, we're at this amazing house now. And I just want to show you some pictures. Nothing that gives it away, but this is just some of the cool stuff. Like, ooh, this is a turkey vulture that's chilling on my fence in the backyard. These things are freaking huge, by the way, and they're ugly as fuck. They are the ugliest bird I've ever seen, and they're huge. And there was like 10 of them, actually. I don't know what died. I don't know what they were going after, but it was crazy. Look at this view, man. Look, this was the view from my front yard. It was raining the other day. This big, beautiful rainbow. This is, I shared this on social media, and I said, I really do feel like my last house was just hell. I think my wife and I came to the terms that we had a lot of stress build up in our family life, our relationships, just because of how small the house was and how much we ended up not liking it, how much it wasn't suiting our needs anymore, and our twit-faced neighbors and stuff like that too. That just made it hell. And so I feel like I left the fires of Mordor, and here I am. This is beautiful. I love this picture. Oh man. Oh, look at this guy. All right, so my wife's grandfather came over to cut our grass because the grass had not been cut in like 2 months. And it's an acre and some change of land. It's you need riding mowers, and we don't have them. So my wife's grandfather came over with his riding mower and was mowing, and I just so happened to peer out the window, and I see this dude chilling underneath my car. That's my tire to the left there. Snapping turtle. Vicious bastards. There's a pond just off of my land behind the house. That's where that sucker came from. He was biggin', man. Biggin'. And then this right here, this is actually, I'm looking at these 2 windows right now. This is the view from my office down to just one corner side of my land, the back right side of my house, there's an equivalent looking left side, and then there's 2 quadrants in the front. It's a lot of space. It's a lot of space, but look at all that green, lush grass, man. That wide open spaces, that roadway right there, that's the main road. It comes in, and the only people that come down that road are the people that live in this neighborhood. Wow. It's nuts to me. It's nuts to me, but that's the recap. That's the recap of what I've been doing for the last 2 months, because the last time you guys saw me, it was an interview with Josh Smith, which was a great interview, by the way. I had a slew of great interviews. I was really rolling with 2021 with guests. I had John Ziegler. I had Larry Sharp, Josh Smith. I had other ones that I scheduled that I had to, put on the back burner because let me tell you, your mental health just on top. Think about it on these terms. This is on top of COVID, coronavirus, lockdowns, government insanity, everything that's going on is going on and affecting my daily life. I'm still, I'm at work, which is, just twice as, wigged out under these conditions in a housing market where you can really, the anxiety can just eat away at you. And I swear to God, I was going nuts. At times, and I know some jackass out there is going, yeah, going nuts. You are nuts. Shut up. But I knew I couldn't commit to the podcast. I didn't have an office space anymore. I was packing things up. Boxes were everywhere. I didn't have space. I wasn't able to schedule interviews because things were popping up on the fly of, going to these meetings and things like that. And it was insane. It was insane. And during this time, let me tell you something. Just if you ever feel like you need to decompress, you need to pull away, I've scaled back on social media. I've scaled back on Twitter. I've scaled back on Facebook. I've been catching up on what's going on in politics. I've been following right along with everybody. I haven't withdrawn completely, but I can tell you, taking steps back from Twitter. I love you guys on Twitter. I really do. There's a lot of you that I love on Twitter. I love interacting with you. Love building relationships. I've watched many a great podcaster grow on the Twitterverse right now. Reed Coverdale, Clint from Liberty Lockdown, Dave Smith promoting these guys, David Fight, great libertarian content creators rising up with Dave Smith giving them rubs, and here I am, the bum sitting out on the sidelines because I just, I was like, I need a mental day. I need a mental day, mental month, mental freaking year. That's how it gets. And having scaled back from Twitter a little bit, I'm not in these little, libertarian caucus fights. The Mises caucus guys, or these, people, the stupid libertarian pissing contests. Which, if I can segue for a couple minutes, let's just have it out. Libertarians, it's time to stand up and do something. Really push and do something. This is why I love the fact that I interviewed Angela McArdle back in December. And Angela, I think I'm going to reach out to you again and bring you back on the show because we need you to be chair of the Libertarian Party, because I'm about at my boiling point with LP National. I'm just almost at my boiling point where every little press release that I see, every stupid press release, every stupid tweet becomes extremely aggravating, considering the quarantine times that we're still in, considering the vaccine BS that's continually going on, the still state of lockdowns, the still state of unemployment, the still state of Joe Biden getting softballed left and right from the media. a little bit of everything. But libertarians, where's the fire? Where is the fire? Where is the drive? Really, where is it? Because I see it in people like Dave Smith. I see it in people like Reed Coverdale. I see it in people like David Fite. I see it in people like Clint. I see it in Freckles and Britt. I see it in a bunch of people. I see it in a bunch of people. But it's us. It's us people. And it's not the party. And it's not the focal messaging drive point. Why aren't people taking Brian Nichols' advice about messaging and marketing and broadening your appeal? But not only that, but just taking the opportunity of what's at hand. What is there to talk about politically other than what Joe Biden's doing and how the nation still is in this limbo? And it's like you hear crickets from the Libertarian Party. It's like, and that is asinine. Asinine. Where the hell are you? Where the hell are you? And that's not to disparage people. It's not to Joseph Bishop Henchman. Never met the guy, never talked to the guy, but seems nice enough. It just, I think Dave Smith put it best in an interview he did. You know, what's the boldest thing he's done? What's the boldest thing that the Libertarian National Party has done in all of this? And you're not going to find it in that. You're going to find it in people like Angela McArdle. You're going to find it in people like Larry Sharp. You're going to find it in people that are gathering together in the Mises Caucus. You're going to find it with Joshua Smith. You're going to find it in this grassroots. And that's why I'm for, if anybody was ever wondering why am I more of a Mises Caucus type of dude, I'm for taking over this movement. I'm for being bold. Freedom lies in being bold. I believe that's Robert Frost quote. Freedom lies in being bold. It doesn't lie in being complacent. It doesn't lie in being quiet. It doesn't lie in being safe. It lies in being bold. And that's what we need. Bold. Daring. Brave. Not honoring the status quo. That's what we need. That's what we need. And I'm glad that I can jump in now and start getting ready and gearing up to get back in the fight. I've missed damn near 3 months. It sucked. This is the longest stretch that I've gone not podcasting in my 5 years of podcasting. Been doing it since the end of 2015. And most of the time I would miss, maybe 1 week here or 1 week there. But it's been damn near 3 months. 3 months. God, I miss this. I did. And I'm really looking forward to reaching out to a lot of you out there. Some of you might be listening. And some of the other guests that I had lined up, hopefully being able to reschedule and dive right back in to everything that's been going on. I'm not going to sit here and try to go layer by layer over the shit that's happened over the last 3 months, because where to start? Where do you even begin? I don't even know. That's the problem with the world today. We move at a breakneck speed, and if you're not talking about and commenting on what's going on right then when it's going on, then it's that scene from Spaceballs. What happened? Where are we? Now, sir. We're looking at now. Everything that's happening now is happening now. So I'm not going to try to play catch up. I'm not going to try to, backtrack. It's a new day. Fritz is back. look, the setup's a little bland. I have a blank wall behind me. All right, I'm sitting at a brand new desk. I'm getting ready to get some new lighting, perhaps new recording equipment. So the backdrop and things they're going to evolve. I'm in an evolving period, but I'm in a nice, dedicated office for once. That's just, it's my space to come in here and rock out when I do these things. Do interviews, do cool podcast episode, break down the happenings that's going on in America and the world. All right, and it's a crazy world too. Okay, Elon Musk has shot Dogecoin up, to record high levels, which, by the way, I'm kicking myself because about 2-3 months ago, I dumped my free stock money from Robinhood into Dogecoin, which was like $1.50 worth of, Dogecoin or whatever. And now my investment's at like $48. And I thought, just piss $100 away. Just put $100 in it, because those game stonks dudes like rock the market. What if they do it with the Dogecoin, even though it's stupid and ridiculous and silly? And here it is. I could have had $100 in there, and it could be a couple $1,000. But that's life. At least I got a new house. But at least I got a new house. I got a new house, and not at an insane price, because the house that I bought never hit the market. I was in with the people selling it, and my house selling it never hit the market. Those people were in with the people. It was literally the smoothest thing you could ask for, even though there was times where you just wanted to, die. So, parched. With that being said, I'm not going to go on and on and on and on. I wanted to dive back in. I wanted to say I'm back. I'm back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. FritzCast is back. We have brand new theme of the show. You saw it in the intro. It's a glitchy, dystopian vibe, if you will, which I like. But it's also like I'm trying. It's like we're together. It's a together thing. It's a me and you thing, not just a me thing. It's like we're trying to break through the madness. We're trying to get a clear signal put forward. Is that cool? A little glitchy theme, clear signal. Is that what that? Maybe that was lost on you. I have no idea, because as I've stated, I've been going nuts for the last 2 months, but it's starting to calm down now. If you're wondering what I'm doing around the house, I'm going to be throwing that in the podcast here and there, because we're doing the homesteading thing. We're getting ready to bust out and do home farming, raising chickens, maybe getting a couple goats. I have a riding mower that's coming. A riding mower. I've got to drive a riding mower. I've never driven a riding mower before. Never done that. Never had to do that. But now I live out in the sticks, and I've got to do it. But for anybody who's asking, for the last 2 weeks in this house, this has been the life. This has been like, last house wasn't home. It was a place that we lived. It was space that we occupied. This is home. And it's great. It's a great attitude. It's great feeling in here. I look forward to the years of raising Emmy and any other potential future kids that come into the mix, and just continuing to build. As my wife said, it's like we're actually adults now. It's like we're actually adults, turning 32 at the end of the month. But it finally starts, it's finally starting to feel like we're adults and stuff. So that reminds me, I'm also upping my involvement locally. I'm getting in with the Delaware Mises Caucus people, Dave versus Goliath, if you're out there watching, my friend. Chris Velrath, Amy Lepore. My God, there's so many of you guys that I can't even name you all, because my brain's scrambled and I haven't been able to be actively participating. But our convention's around the corner in June, with Spike Cohen coming and everything, and I think Maj Touré too. We're having a Liberty Speaks event. Man, it's gonna be freaking awesome. I can't wait for it. I'm going to cover it right here on FritzCast. Why not? Because now I live even closer to where the convention stuffs are. So it's cool. It's really cool. So that's going to do it for me for this episode. I know it wasn't like, heavy on the politics. I know it wasn't, it was like a catch-up. It's like a catch-up. It's like we're having a beer together, except I don't have any beer. I haven't brewed any beer because I've been busy freaking unpacking boxes. I'm still unpacking boxes, obviously. Somebody told me you never stop unpacking boxes. That might be true. I don't know. I'll let you know when I figure it out. But, guys, I really do appreciate it. A lot of you reached out while I was out and said, hey, where are you? Are you good? I appreciate you. I appreciate you for reaching out. I appreciate you for caring, because sometimes when you're doing these programs, there's days where you feel really, really high sometimes, and you're like, this is awesome. This is cool. I'm doing great interviews. I'm interacting with people and all that. And then there's times where you feel really low and you're like, am I really even making a difference? Does anybody really even care? Sometimes you feel that way. But you guys really made me feel special. You guys made me feel like that FritzCast isn't just some junk program out there, that it's a program that you guys really do love and appreciate, and that makes me really proud. And I want to do even better than I've been doing. I can always go over the next hurdle. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. So in the meantime, guys, if you're not following me on Twitter, it's at FritzQS. I've scaled back a little bit. I'm trying not to be on there, every minute of the day and tweeting 147 tweets a day or 147 replies a day, but I'm there. All right. I'm still on the Facebook. I haven't been Thanos yet. It's facebook.com/thefritzcast. You can reach out to me personally, fritzcastpodcast@gmail.com. It's there. I threw it out there. And I haven't got the website squared away yet, but that's coming soon. So remember, I love you guys. There is no breaks no more. I'll be back next week to dive into the next big, juicy political subject. And let's tackle it. Love you guys.